I study horses. Beauty matched only bothers.
These feet actually look pretty good, and they held up pretty well from our last shoeing. I feel like we're getting ahead of the patterns, and judging by the results 6 weeks later, we have a good HPA, hoof pastern axis. Not a ton of growth here. Not a whole lot to do, so we're gonna touch them up or perfect what we have to keep them going for the next time. If anything, he's a little steep. I'm beginning to hoof test here, which we do on every foot, every time, because we want to maintain a running record of how comfortable each foot is, and we can note changes and take appropriate measures to improve things if we find a reaction like we do here on the medial heel. We begin, of course, the trim from the top because we want to trim the horizontal growth first, and it helps us see how much actual vertical depth the horse has. I'm creating a specific shape here, and I'm using the hairline as my template for what shape the hoof should be. After I've reduced the horizontal length that this horse had, it helped me see that he has very little vertical depth, especially at the toe. His angle was actually a little high, which we don't run across very often. So I trimmed his heels down a tiny bit, brought his toe back. Now we're going to clean him up and get his shoe all ready to go. This horse's name is Cassie, and this is Holly Farm, and this is the second time we've worked on him. Feet aren't in too bad a shape, so our main job is to keep him that way, not make him worse. We chose to put pads on because I felt his sole was a little thin. As you can see, he reacts to the hoof testers. So the pads are going to act like an arch support or an orthotic in our boot and help him develop vertical depth and a thicker sole. And he will not have a positive hoof test next time. The shoe's actually in really good shape. We're going to reset. Here I'm using Artemud to pack all the places that are potential infection sites, like any separations along the white line in the quarters, in the heels, seed of corn, places that are potential for the thrush infection, commissures, central sulcus. Artemud does a fantastic job of keeping things clean and fairly sterile while not being toxic to me. We love it. You might note that I did not remove the bar material on the lateral heel while I'm cleaning it up, getting it ready for the pad. What I see here, and I see a lot, is actually a lack of sole, not an excess of bar. And I feel like removing them takes away mass, volume, structure from the caudal aspect or the rear of the foot, which is where we want to maintain it the most. I haven't had any bad experiences leaving those bars in and just allowing them to be part of the strength and mass and volume of the rear of the foot. Here we ended up with what to me looks like a pretty robust pair of front feet. They have the look of strength and mass, volume, all the things that we'd want in a comfortable foot. Nice shape, rocker toe, not excessively long or short or upright or low. Nicely matched to pastern angle. Feel like we've accomplished all of our goals for this time. And we'll see how things turn out in 6 weeks, and that will be the real judge.
I study horses, beauty matched only by their strength. I try and capture a little of that as I move on without your face. I study horses, my picture of living zen. You see